Okay, so now that you've got all of the images that you wanted in your collage mousepad file, I'm going to be using this file here, but you can see that I have some photos in here already. But this is where I have all the photos that I want to use. I'm going to be using this for mine, but yours is going to be called collage mousepad. You can go back to your Photoshop file and then open up your name collage mousepad. Should look like this, be blank with a transparent background. When I open it up, it should be the same size and have this transparent layer on the background. I want you to notice layers. Your layers should be here already. I have to click layers in order to open this up here, but this is what your layers panel should look like. This is going to be very crucial moving forward. You need to know what layer you're working with and operating on. This is why we named all of our folders or all of our images on our desktop folder names that we made sense to us. This is a pride flag. This is a peace pride flag. This is our unicorn. This is our dabbing unicorn. Very, very clear instructions and names on there. So while we're on this screen here, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go File, and I'm going to Place Embedded. This is going to allow me to place an image. Your file is on your desktop. It is on your computer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on your computer. And you're going to find the desktop. Again, your will be Collage Mousepad, but mine is going to be here. And we're going to start with one image. I'm going to start with an image that has a lot of contrast. So this Discord logo here, you can see the white background on it is very, very contrasting from the colored image inside. So when I click on that, it's now going to import. I only clicked once. It might take a second. It's okay if it takes a second. I find that it gets faster the more I use it. There it is. There's our Discord thing. So remember, I only clicked on it once and I just gave the computer some time. On your layers, you're going to notice immediately Discord Pride logo. That matches the name of the file that we imported it as. Discord Pride logo. There it is right there. Discord Pride logo. It carries over the name and adds it as your layer name. This is why it was so important to name all your files. If you haven't named your files accordingly, you're gonna want to stop this video and go rename your files so that you can continue on with this. You can notice here, as soon as I placed embedded, I've got the new file with the new name, and my file is here with these bounding boxes. Now we've seen these before. We can stretch our image and we can change the size of our image this way here. Go ahead and make this fairly large. And at this point here, I'm going to press enter. I want you to notice this little icon here in the layer box. The first thing you want to do every time you import a new image is get rid of this icon. Right click on your layer and rasterize that layer. Essentially what that means is you're going to explode your image so that it can be manipulated. If you do not rasterize the layer, if you have that image that was there before, you will not be able to edit this photo. Now we have our Discord Pride logo and it's right here. What I want to do now is I want to eliminate all of the white space from this image. We're going to use a tool called the magic wand. I'm going to click over here. You're going to see a magic wand tool. If this is not here, press and hold and you'll see it might be object selection or quick selection. For our purposes, we want magic wand. With our magic wand, what I want to do is I want to select everything that I'm going to delete. So this white space here, I'm going to click on it. And as soon as I click on it, you can see these little moving borders. These are called marching ants. You can get their name because they look like little marching ants. And they have gone around and selected all of the white. All of this white is selected. This is not selected. And you can see the difference because this and this is what's selected. In between these marching ants is what's selected. I'm going to go ahead and press delete on my keyboard. And you can see it changed from a white background to a checkerboard background. And if you remember from my previous video, the checkerboard background means it's transparent. It's see-through. Control Z will always undo, and I just did that to show you what we did. We've taken that white background and we've eliminated it by selecting it with the magic wand and pressing delete. From now, we want to select and then we want to deselect everything. And now our marching ants are gone and nothing is selected. We still have a couple of white spaces, and that is the eyes of the Discord logo here. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and take my magic wand tool and I'm going to select the eye and I'm going to press delete. I'm going to go to select and deselect. Right at the top here, deselect. And now you can see my eye went from white to transparent. Next thing I want to do is go back to my magic wand, find the eye, press delete, select, and deselect. Now our Discord label is ready to go. I can do different things to manipulate this file, but in order to do that, I have to select the layer and use my keyboard. I have to press Control and the letter T. Control T. That stands for transform. That's how I get this bounding box back around a layer that already exists. I can now stretch and shrink this image. I can rotate this image, and I can move it around. Pressing Escape will deselect that image. You'll notice the changes I made did not stay. What I need to do, while selected on the layer, press Control T, change the image to what I want it to be, and then I have to press Enter on the keyboard, and that is going to keep your image changes that way. Not changing the images, Control T to select it, doing this, and then pressing Escape basically null and voids everything that I did for that image. Your first few images might not be super important to size and place yet because you only have one image on there and you may not know exactly where it's going to go. So this is a good spot to just stop. And what we're going to do with this layer here is we're going to lock it. So with this layer selected, I'm going to hit the lock button. That means I cannot change anything on this layer. It is now locked. I've got it all cut out, and that's exactly how I want it to look. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this process. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Place Embedded. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to put this ally in one of the eyes of the Discord thing. So I'm going to click on the ally and go ahead and hit Place. Again, you can see a new layer is created. A new layer named what our image was named. Our Discord Pride logo is locked, and our ally layer is now created. Again, this is a good time to stretch and move your image around and press Enter when you're done. This little button here needs to be taken care of. We need to right click on our layer, rasterize that layer. Okay, now what's really great about the layering is that we can turn layers on and off. This is the visibility. See, it looks like a little eye here. If I click this little eye, that layer disappears and all I see is what is visible to me in my layers. It still exists. You can still see it up here, but I just hid it. Moving forward, you're going to have to be cautious of layers. You're going to have to select the layer that you want to change or adapt. I'm going to turn off my Discord Pride. It's locked. I like where it is. I only need to see my ally video, my ally image right now. I'm selected on the ally layer. I'm going to go to my magic wand, find my unwanted white space, and press delete. Move around until my image is there. Select and deselect when I'm finished. Now I want to make this ally logo a bit smaller because I want it to fit inside of that Discord eyeball. So if you remember, with the layers selected, I'm going to press Control on the keyboard and the letter T. Control T for transform. That gives me my bounding box, and now I can resize my image. I'm going to make it this approximate size, and then I'm going to bring up my Discord Pride logo. Now I can sort of see how big I want it. I'm going to go back to the ally label layer, Control T for transform, and now I can shrink it and move it around. I won't be able to move it around if no layer is selected. You're going to see this do not enter sign almost. This means I can't do anything. When I select the layer and press Control T, that's when I can transform that layer. With that layer selected and transform activated, I can also use the arrow keys on my keyboard to nudge that image around. I like where it is. I need to solidify my changes by pressing Enter. Now, the ally is bigger than I want it to be, and I did that on purpose. What I want to do next is I want to lock this layer, this button right here, and the lock button shows up there. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the Discord layer and I'm going to place it on top of the ally button, and watch the eye here. I'm going to grab it, drag it. Those lines that show up above the layer is what I want to see before I let go. And now my button, my ally button, goes behind my Discord eye. With the ally layer selected, I press Control T, and I'm just going to use my arrow keys and nudge it around so that it looks more centered in my Discord eye. Pressing Enter to lock in my changes. You are going to repeat this process over and over and over again until you fill up your collage space with images. Your workspace is slightly about 1/2 of an inch larger than your mouse pad. So if you want something really, really, really badly, make sure that it's a little bit on the inside of this image, because you will lose a little bit, about 1/2 an inch on each edge of your image. When you come back to the next video, you're going to see more layers inside of our layers, and I'm going to show you some tricks on how to manipulate them. But this is the basics on how to cut out your images and how to get them layered, how to view or not view, and how to lock and unlock your images. When you come back, there will be more images cut out and ready to go, and we're going to do the next step together. All right, have fun and get a whole bunch of images layered on here. And even if you don't end up using them, we can always delete them, move them around, or just turn the visibility on and off. All right, have fun, you guys.